Hello everyone, my name is Akshat Sharma. I am a student member at Students Branding and Relations Cell, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. Today with us we have Mr. Ojas Deshmukh for the new episode of Spotlight series. So it would be great, Ojas, if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Ojas Deshmukh. I'm currently in my 5th year in the Department of Biotechnology. And in the past 4.5 years here on KGP, I've been a part of quite a few tech groups, CGS, Swarm, the new KBS right now, and have been very involved in basically any tech event. Other than that, I was a founder in residence at EF a few months ago, and I'm currently the CEO of Evermore Labs.
Okay, thank you so much, Ojas. So my first question to you is what have you gained from IIT Kharagpur, and how has your experience in this institute been so far?
So, good question. The best thing that I think KGP gives you is the thing that it gets you out of your shell. So first year me would be completely unrecognizable. I would be completely into CADs, ignoring everything else. And I was quite a bit of an introvert. So the advisory that you get at KGP, the sheer amount of diversity that you have amongst seniors who will be ready to help you at any point of time is just amazing.
So thank you for this insightful knowledge. Now my next question is, can you brief us on your achievements and involvements on this campus?
Sure. So back in my first year, I was a part of the founding team at Game Lab, which eventually became CGS, and was inducted into Swarm, which at that time was one of the few research groups in robotics that we had back on campus. I was very much interested into tech right on, so game development was exciting, robotics was pretty much obvious. And after COVID hit, there was a big push towards software. And that's probably where I started building my skills and eventually leading up to hackathons. In my third year, I went for my first inter-IIT tech meet, which was online, but everyone was on campus.
Okay. So my next question is, you clearly excelled in tech, mostly in new domains such as Web3, blockchain, VR and gaming. So what were the steps that led you in this direction?
So I have this belief that it's actually very difficult to know what you like, but it's very easy to find out quickly that, this isn't going to work out.
Okay.
So for a brief period, I was very much into getting into core biotechnology. Thankfully, that did not happen. And going down the path of game development, robotics, and just building things was very beneficial.
Nice. So thank you for that. You were able to grab some top spots in inter-IIT tech meets, as you mentioned earlier. So what will be your valuable insights to the students aspiring for the same?
So first of all, you need to have a decent skill set. And more or less, the trends in events always remains the same. You'll have events in cybersecurity, NLP, traditional data science, and software dev, of course. So try to build an edge in that direction, and you'll easily get in.
Okay. Thank you for that insightful knowledge. So being a founding member of Computer Graphics Society, what was your initiating step, and how did this thought come to your mind of starting a society, and how were you able to make it a successful one?
So Sudeep and Jivankur actually took the lead on starting out with Game Lab. We were one of the first few inductees. There were around 7 of us back in the first year, and we ended up becoming the first heads of the society then. Now, I'm pretty sure things would not have worked out as they have right now if COVID never happened. So at that time, most of the best minds got into robotics. You had a ton of embedded engineers, you had people working on hardware, and most of the folks who could do dev were into computer vision or building other kinds of modules.
Nice. So these were some beautiful points mentioned by you. One thing also I wanted to ask, you have got first place in Samsung Innovation Award 2021, first place in ASQI New Era Hackathon 2022, and you were a grand finalist in UST D3 Code Hackathon. So in this journey of your IIT KGP, you have won several hackathons. And so how was your experience in all these hackathons, and what was your kickstart motivation taking part in these?
So, Samsung Innovation Award was my first actual hackathon win. It's what actually put me on that entire winning streak of hackathons that followed afterwards. Now, back in Samsung, the prompt that we had was metaverse. You could build whatever you wanted around it. And at that time, no one knew what that was. So that was pretty amazing that I could actually see my skill sets that I'd built over the last 2 years line up over there. And I could actually build something meaningful. So the Samsung Innovation Award, the competition happened around November in my third year, autumn semester. And it started somewhere around May.
Okay. So it was very exciting to know about all these hackathons that you took part in. Can you please tell our audience how you were able to manage all these tech projects and portfolios at different societies alongside your academics?
So academics is a very difficult one. Until you get into college, your main motive in life right now has been to maximize that score that you're getting in school. Yes. Get a 98 or 99 in math, science, whatever. But once you come here, you realize that you have to make a certain compromise. You have to develop skill sets that are actually valuable to you and at the same time not be so terrible in acads that it closes doors. So finding that balance is pretty important for everyone.
Okay. Thank you for that points. You're a founder and residence at Entrepreneur First and also got an internship at Everasna APAC Consulting. So as the CDC internship season is coming, so what valuable insights would you like to impart to your juniors about your exceptional achievements across various domains of expertise?
So I'd have to say stick to your strengths. You have a bit of time for exploration, but when it comes to your CDC intern, you have to actually pick a path. You can't apply for every single role out there and expect all of them to convert. So you need to have a clear idea of what you're actually gunning for and where your strengths lie. If you stress on that hard enough, you're pretty much good to go.
So what was your strength in these?
In terms of Eversana, which is in consulting, that was a bit of an odd one because my entire background back then was in tech. But at the same time, because of all these competitions and hackathons, I was ideating, building, and basically selling the idea at the same time.
Okay.
And the experience in the inter-IT actually helped quite a bit because the amount of business acumen you gain over there is immense. So instead of going for a traditional tech job, which actually would have played to my strength, I thought let's just take a look at what the other side is doing.
Okay. This one was a hell of an advice. Thank you for that. So can you brief us about your startup and future plans about it?
So currently I'm the CEO of Evermorrow Labs. We are a multi-title VR game studio. We're planning to build free-to-play games to solve that content problem that you have in VR right now.
Okay.
So while there are just as many headsets out there as PlayStation 5s, there isn't any software out there right now to use. After you buy a headset, it essentially becomes the world's most costly paperweight.
Okay, nice. So what was your initiating step in this? How did this idea pop up in your mind?
So around a year ago, the folks at Entrepreneur First had visited campus and I was lucky enough to have a chat with them. And after all those hackathon wins, I did have quite a bit of motivation to build something a bit more meaningful than projects.
Okay.
So after doing a lot of market research, somewhere around 300 calls to understand what problems each industry faced, I ended up going back to VR, which I think was where my edge lied.
Thank you so much for these wonderful ideas. Now I would want to ask a last question, and it's like one of the most important question. So what is the general fun day that you would like to pass on to your juniors and the upcoming freshers?
So for freshers and second years, I cannot stress on how important it is to explore. Again, as I said before, it's very difficult to find out what you actually like and what you're good at, but if you explore enough, you will definitely know what you do not want to do.
Okay.
So just get out there, have a bit of fun, but at the same time take things a bit seriously. You have to make very quick decisions. You have to pivot from time to time.
Thank you for your advice, Ojas. These were like one of the most inspiring and insightful advices that I have heard from all of our seniors. So thank you being the part of Spotlight series. So here we end our this episode of Spotlight series. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.